Hi, it's Sarah again. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for being here with me. Every time I sit down to record these, I wonder if anyone really cares about the small, messy details of my life. But you do, and that gives me courage to keep sharing. So, where did we leave off?
Right.
The job offer.
Boston.
The decision that was supposed to change everything. Let me tell you what happened. After Leo's birthday party, after everyone left and the apartment fell quiet again, I couldn't stop thinking about that email. The job offer sat in my inbox like a ticking clock. Management position, real money, benefits, everything I told myself I needed. I made spreadsheets. I calculated cost of living. I researched schools in Boston. I even looked at apartments online, imagining Leo and me in a new place, starting fresh where nobody knew us as the single mom and her kid. It made sense on paper. Every logical part of my brain screamed, take it. But then there was this other voice, quieter,
Deeper.
the one that kept replaying moments from the party. Mrs. Chen's wrinkled hands holding mine. Mr. Rodriguez making up silly songs. Leo's wish that I would be happy. 3 days after the party, I still hadn't made a decision. I was walking Leo home from preschool, and he was chattering away about his day like he always does. Mama, guess what? I told everyone about my birthday party, and they didn't believe me that Mr. Rodriguez came with a guitar. They didn't believe you? Nope. They said grown-ups don't come to kids' parties if they're not the parents. But I said Mr. Rodriguez did. And Mrs. Chun. And Sophie. And Tom. He said it with such pride. Like having neighbors show up was the most special thing in the world. And maybe it was. That night, after I tucked him in, I did something I hadn't done in a long time. I knocked on Mrs. Chen's door. She opened it, surprised to see me standing there at 9 p.m. with a bottle of wine I'd been saving for. I don't even know what. Sarah? Everything okay? Can I talk to you? Just for a few minutes. She invited me in. Her apartment smelled like jasmine tea and something sweet baking. It was smaller than mine, filled with photographs and plants and little trinkets that looked like they each had a story. We sat at her small kitchen table, and I told her everything about the job offer, about the money, about feeling torn between what made sense and what felt right. Mrs. Chen listened without interrupting. When I finally stopped talking, she poured us both tea and was quiet for a long moment. Then she said something I'll never forget. When I came to America 52 years ago, I left everything. My mother, my sisters, my friends. I thought I would find better life here. And I did find better life. But you know what I didn't find for a very long time? Home. She paused, looking at her tea. Home is not about the money or the big house or the perfect job. Home is where people know your name, where someone knocks on your door when they hear you crying, where a little boy's birthday becomes everyone's celebration. I felt tears starting, but I didn't wipe them away. You have something rare here, Sarah. You have neighbors who became family. Don't throw that away for something that looks good on paper. Money comes and goes, but people who show up, that's treasure. I walked back to my apartment that night and sat at my laptop. I stared at that email for 20 minutes. Then I started typing. Dear hiring manager, thank you for this incredible opportunity. After careful consideration, I must respectfully decline. My finger hovered over the send button. This was it. The moment where I chose the life I was building over the life I planned. I hit send. And you know what I felt? Not regret, not fear, relief. But here's where the story gets complicated. Because life doesn't give you neat, happy endings wrapped in a bow. 2 days after I declined the job offer, I got called into my boss's office at work. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and you just know something bad is about to happen? Yeah, that feeling. Sarah, I need to talk to you about the restructuring. Restructuring. That word that corporate people use when they don't want to say what they really mean. We're downsizing the department. I'm so sorry, but your position is being eliminated. We'll give you 2 months severance and help with job placement. But I don't remember the rest of what he said. I just remember nodding, smiling, saying, I understand, like a robot. Then walking to the bathroom and locking myself in a stall. I had just turned down my dream job, and now I had no job at all. The irony wasn't lost on me. That evening, I sat Leo down after dinner. He was playing with his dinosaurs, making them talk to each other in different voices. Leo, baby, Mama needs to tell you something. He looked up at me with those big brown eyes. Mama's job is going away, so we need to be extra careful with money for a little while, okay? That means maybe not eating out and maybe waiting a bit longer for new toys. I braced myself for tears, for complaints, for the tantrum of a 4-year-old who doesn't understand. Instead, Leo climbed into my lap and hugged me tight. It's okay, Mama. You'll find a new job. You're really good at everything. The faith of a child. It breaks you and heals you at the same time. That night, after Leo fell asleep, I sat in the dark and let myself feel everything I'd been holding back. The fear, the uncertainty, the voice in my head asking, did you make the right choice? What if you just ruined everything? But then I thought about Mrs. Chen's words,
About home.
about treasure, and I made a decision. I wasn't going to fall apart. I wasn't going to panic. I was going to do what I do best, what I've been doing since the day Leo's father walked out. I was going to figure it out. The next morning, I updated my resume. I reached out to everyone I knew. I applied to every job that made sense, and some that didn't. I swallowed my pride and asked Mrs. Chun if she could watch Leo a few extra hours while I went to interviews. And you know what she said? Of course. And Sarah? You don't have to do this alone anymore. Ask for help. We're here. It's been 3 weeks since I lost my job. 3 weeks of interviews and applications and rejection emails and that horrible waiting. 3 weeks of checking my bank account every morning and calculating how long I can make the money last. But something else happened in these 3 weeks. Mr. Rodriguez heard I was job hunting and connected me with his sister who works in HR. Sophie, the college student, started babysitting Leo twice a week and refused to let me pay her full price. Tom, the superintendent, fixed my leaky faucet for free, saying, consider it a loan until you're back on your feet. And Mrs. Chin? She's been leaving containers of food outside my door. Dumplings, rice, soup. Little notes that say, for you and Leo, eat well. This is what I'm learning. Community isn't just about the good times. It's about the hard times too. It's about people who see you struggling and don't look away. Yesterday, I got a call. A second interview for a position that could be really good. Not Boston money, but good. Local. Stable. With people who seem kind. I don't know if I'll get it. I don't know how this story ends. But I know this. I made the right choice. staying here, choosing home over money, choosing people over plans. Because Leo has neighbors who love him, and I have friends who became family. And sometimes that's worth more than any job offer. Tomorrow is the second interview. I'm terrified and hopeful and trying to remember to breathe. But tonight, I'm sitting here, Leo is asleep in the next room, and I'm not alone. And that makes all the difference. Thank you so much for being here with me through this journey, for listening to my story, my struggles, my small victories. Knowing that you're out there listening makes me feel less alone in this. If my story resonates with you, if you want to keep following along to see what happens with the interview, with Leo, with all of it, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that follow button. It truly means the world to me. Your support gives me the courage to keep sharing, to keep being honest about the beautiful mess that is single motherhood. I'll be back soon to tell you what happens next. Until then, Sarah.